Okay, so, wow, you ready for this?
Always.
Today, we are diving deep, and I mean deep, into something I think a lot of us have been, well, kind of obsessed with.
Yeah, it's everywhere, right?
A music industry.
Oh, yeah, it's a big one.
But like, not just in general, we're going super specific. We're talking Britney Spears.
No, that's a story.
It is, and thankfully, she's told it herself, in her own words, in The Woman in Me. You guys sent in so many thoughts, so many questions.
It seems like everyone has an opinion on this one.
Exactly. We're also going to be looking at, legal stuff.
The conservatorship, yeah.
Yeah, all the things about how messed up things can get, especially for artists who start young.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's like there's this almost archetypal narrative. Young talent, huge success, but then this fight for control.
Oh, totally. I mean, in the book, Britney talks about being pushed to tour, even when she was, completely exhausted.
Yeah, I remember reading that.
And she couldn't even control her own money. And what really got me was how she was scared to even say anything because she thought people would retaliate.
It's scary, right? It makes you think, how often does this happen? And we never even hear about it.
It's not just, creative differences or whatever. This is serious stuff.
Absolutely. And this is where I think understanding what a conservatorship actually is becomes really important.
Okay, yeah, break it down.
So basically, it's a legal thing where a court, steps in and says, okay, this person can't handle their own affairs, and they appoint someone else to do it.
And that can be anyone.
Well, it's usually a family member or a professional, but yeah, it could be. And they have control over finances, medical decisions, sometimes even where the person lives.
Wow.
The idea is to protect people who are truly vulnerable, but, and this is a big but, it can be so easily misused, especially when you have someone like Britney who's making millions.
Yeah, you can see how that would be tempting for the wrong person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then you add in the family dynamics, which the book gets into a lot.
Oh yeah, her gad.
Right, so her father was basically in charge of her whole career, especially under the conservatorship.
And she talks about how that, messed her up mentally and emotionally.
Yeah, and it shows how, fame doesn't protect you from family problems. If anything, it probably makes them worse.
For sure.
Yeah.
But beyond Britney specifically, this whole thing makes you question how much power anyone should have over someone else's life.
That's the ethical dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the music industry where contracts are notoriously complicated and you have these young artists who might not understand what they're signing.
Yeah. I remember that one story.
Oh, tell me.
I read this article years ago about a band. And they were super popular for a hot minute, but basically ended up owing their label money, they were in debt, even though their songs were on the radio everywhere.
It's that's crazy.
How does that even happen? But it does.
It's about power, right? Who has it, who doesn't. And in the music industry, that power can be used to exploit people in so many ways. Financially, creatively, you name it.
So, what do we do? It all just seems so big and, impossible to change.
Well, I don't think it's impossible. But it takes work. It takes all of us recognizing the patterns, understanding how the system can be manipulated.
Yeah, we got to educate ourselves.
Exactly. And we need more transparency from the labels, the managers, everyone who profits off the artists.
And it makes you think about our role as listeners too, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What are we supporting with our streams, our downloads, our concert tickets? Are we thinking about the artist as a person?
That's such a good point. Do we value their art more than their well-being? It's a tough question.
It is, but the bottom line is if we want a better music industry, it's got to be a group effort.
Couldn't agree more.
Artists need to feel empowered to speak up for themselves. The legal stuff needs to protect them better. And we, the fans, we need to be conscious, informed, and honestly, a little bit louder. All right, so we've talked a lot about Britney, the music industry, the good, the bad, the really, really ugly. But I want to leave you with a final thought. What can we do as individuals to make the music industry a place that's both profitable and ethical? Let that sink in for a minute. This deep dive, it's just the beginning. Keep asking questions, keep learning, and most importantly, keep talking about it.